Let's dive into a subject that could radically reshape the future of cryptocurrency in America, and more importantly, it could place XRP at the very center of it all. I'm talking about the Genius Act, a strategic policy initiative recently proposed by Donald Trump. And while it may sound like just another campaign buzzword, the Genius Act is a lot more than that. It could be the missing piece that not only brings regulatory clarity to the crypto industry, but also unlocks a wave of institutional momentum behind XRP and Ripple. First, it's important to understand the context behind the Genius Act. The U.S. has been falling behind in the global race for blockchain and financial innovation. Other countries, China, Russia, members of the BRICS alliance, are rolling out central bank digital currencies, building infrastructure for real-time cross-border payments, and positioning themselves for a world beyond the US dollar. Meanwhile, what's been happening here in America? Regulatory chaos. Agencies like the SEC have been waging war on innovation instead of embracing it. Companies have been forced to leave the country, innovation is stalling, and investors are uncertain about the future. This is the environment the Genius Act seeks to change. The acronym stands for Government for Enabling National Innovation, using standards. And that last word, standards, is critical. The idea behind the act is to make the United States a leader in next-generation technologies by creating clear frameworks, encouraging responsible innovation, and building powerful public-private partnerships to unlock growth. It's a pro-innovation bill with a pro-business, pro-America agenda, and guess what? Ripple and XRP are exactly the kind of companies and technologies that this act would favor. Why? Because Ripple has spent years doing what many in the crypto space haven't, building real-world utility, creating regulatory relationships, and seeking clarity, not avoidance. XRP isn't trying to be a meme coin or a quick flip. It's a bridge asset designed to facilitate fast, low-cost, and efficient cross-border payments. It already works, it's already integrated with financial institutions around the world, and it aligns perfectly with the Genius Act's vision of building a US-led financial future grounded in standards. What's more, XRP is ISO 20022 compliant. This isn't just some technical detail. ISO 20022 is the global messaging standard that financial institutions around the world are adopting for cross-border payments. And XRP is one of the few digital assets already built to work with this standard. That gives it an enormous head start when it comes to institutional adoption, regulatory acceptance, and integration into legacy systems. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Over the past year, Donald Trump's stance on crypto has shifted dramatically. Once a critic who dismissed Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as dangerous and unregulated, he's now embracing the sector. His campaign has begun accepting crypto donations. He's met with blockchain industry leaders. He's directly criticized the current administration's regulatory approach and has made it clear that, under his leadership, the war on crypto would come to an end. Now think about that. A presidential candidate who's not just okay with crypto, but actively embracing it. And not just embracing the speculative side, but the utility side, the kind of infrastructure that Ripple represents. That's where the real alignment begins to show. The Genius Act is a policy roadmap, and it's starting to look like Ripple and XRP could be the vehicles driving that roadmap forward. Ripple's legal battle with the SEC over whether XRP should be classified as a security has caused tremendous uncertainty in the market. Billions in market cap were wiped out. U.S. exchanges delisted XRP. Retail and institutional investors were left in limbo. But despite all of this, Ripple didn't run. They didn't relocate like some other crypto companies. They stayed. They fought the case. And they made a compelling argument, not just for XRP's status, but for the need for clear regulation overall. And now, that strategy may be paying off. If Trump wins re-election and the Genius Act becomes a national initiative, Ripple will be seen not as a rebel, but as a survivor, a compliant, battle-tested company that stood its ground and built for the long haul. That narrative alone could shift how government agencies, investors, and financial institutions view Ripple. Let's zoom out for a second. There's a much bigger battle going on right now, a global one. As the world moves toward digitized financial systems, the countries that get it right will lead the next phase of economic growth. China has launched its digital yuan. BRICS is exploring a cross-border payment system that bypasses the US dollar. Meanwhile, Europe is moving toward digital euro trials. All of these nations are setting standards, issuing guidance, and pushing their ecosystems forward. The US, on the other hand, is stuck in neutral, mostly due to infighting among regulators. That's why the Genius Act matters. It's not just a tech bill, it's a geopolitical strategy. It's about securing America's place in the global digital economy. And if XRP is tapped, whether officially or unofficially, as a bridge asset in this new infrastructure, the implications are massive. The XRP has a proven use case. It's fast, scalable, cost-effective, and sustainable. Its energy efficiency makes it more appealing in a world increasingly focused on ESG and carbon neutrality. It has a fixed supply, and Ripple's escrow system offers a level of predictability that institutions love. But above all, it's functional. It works today, not in 5 years, not in theory. Right now, if Trump's Genius Act becomes a real policy directive and Ripple is recognized as part of the solution, not the problem, we could be looking at one of the most significant value unlocks in crypto history. XRP could finally gain the regulatory clarity it's been waiting for, and that clarity could open the floodgates to institutional investment. Think about what happens when banks, hedge funds, and payment platforms can use XRP without fear of legal repercussions. Think about what happens when Ripple is no longer fighting regulators, but working alongside them. Think about what happens when the US government views XRP not as a liability, but as a strategic asset. The price implications are enormous. Right now, XRP is still priced with uncertainty baked in. It's suppressed, sidelined, and disconnected from its true utility-based value. But if that cloud of uncertainty is lifted, if XRP is given a green light from the highest levels of government policy, we could easily see XRP break its previous all-time high. Some conservative projections put XRP at $5 post-clarity. More bullish scenarios, especially those involving federal partnerships or regulatory reform, place XRP at $10, $20, or even higher within the next market cycle. This isn't just hopium. This is what happens when technology, policy, and market readiness align. That we're not saying XRP is going to be the official US digital currency, but we are saying that XRP has everything a government might want in a cross-border liquidity solution: compliance, performance, security, and trust. And if the Genius Act follows through on its goals, the people in Washington may finally start recognizing that. In the end, the Genius Act represents more than just a piece of policy. It represents a mindset shift, a move away from fear and control toward collaboration and innovation. It's about giving American companies the tools they need to lead globally, not just follow. And Ripple, through years of struggle and building, is uniquely positioned to step into that leadership role. So if you're an XRP holder, this isn't the time to tune out. This is the time to double down on your research, stay informed, and watch the political landscape closely. Because the next few months may determine not just the future of Ripple, but the future of crypto in the United States. And if the Genius Act becomes reality, XRP might not just survive, it might thrive in ways few ever expected.